Hisuian Zoroark is a powerhouse. With its illusion ability, high special attack and speed, it can really throw your opponents off balance. This video is going to show you exactly how. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Pokémon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battle. Today we're having a battle versus Zav in the OU tier from the Discord server. They've got a pretty solid team. I appreciate the Weavile, and it's nice to see Garchomp getting some usage as well, because that thing dropped from OU, didn't it? That's crazy. So, looking at the team, they have no defogger, so screens would be good, but they have two potential fire-type leads in Skeledirge and Cinderace, more so the Cinderace, but they might lead off with Garchomp as well. So I think I'm going to lead off with the Ninetales, get the screens up. If they do go into the Cinderace first, we have the switch in being the Great Tusk. If they go for the Skeledirge, we have the switch in being the Magcargo. So let's just go from there. And the battle begins. So Zav's going to lead off with U-Pack, which is the Garchomp, nice and shiny. We lead off with Ninetales, which is a great matchup for us. So they probably switch out here, probably into the Skeledirge, I would say, or the Goldengo. Goldengo is probably the best one there because it resists both my stabs perfectly. I know Skeledirge and Cinderace do as well, but, you know, they're not... Yeah. I don't know, it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to go for an Aurora Veil anyway, expecting them to switch out. Aurora Veil being up is going to be really useful for the whole team. There's the Aurora Veil getting set up. They stay in, which is extremely ballsy, by the way. They actually stayed in against the Ninetales. I could have freeze-dried that thing as they go for a Stealth Rock. So they got the rocks up. It was a risky play, but it worked out for them in the end, as Stealth Rocks are now up on our side of the field. Now I'm just going to go straight for the throat. I'm going to go for the freeze-dry on the Garchomp. Let's see if they actually stay in or not. If they stay in, that's going to be wild. They do withdraw because they don't want to take a freeze dry to the face. They probably expected the Aurora Veil, which is why they stayed in to get the Stealth Rocks up. And they're going to go into Cinderace. The Cinderace is a good one. Nice and shiny. Gotta love it. We go for a freeze dry, and it's going to do diddly squat. There we go. But we might freeze. Oh, as if I just called that. We called the freeze. That's crazy. So I'm pretty sure Pyro Ball unforged you from there. So I'm going to go into Great Tusk anyway. Just as a way to, like, if they do 4 out straight away, we can take a hit, no problem. So in comes Great Tusk, and this thing could be court change, so we have to be careful setting up Stealth Rocks. But let's see how this works out for us. So they Pyro Ball melted the ice, which is fair enough. Then they go ahead and go for a Pyro Ball, which does nothing. Obviously, bounces right off me. So I'm going to expect them to go into Goldengo here to take the Rapid Spin to get rid of the Stealth Rocks. I'm going to go for the EQ, and EQ hits everything on the team. They actually have Will-O-Wisp on the Cinderace, which is interesting. So that's crippled my Great Tusk for the most part. Earthquake should still sting a little bit because now it's gone from base 100 to base 50. It should still sting. It does sting a little bit, but if that burn wasn't there, the Cinderace would definitely be gone right now. So that is a shame. That is a real shame. So if we expect them to maybe switch out into something else like the Great Tusk right now, we could go for a Rapid Spin to try and get rid of the Stealth Rocks. Alternatively, we can go for a Stealth Rock of our own if we expect the Goldengo to come in. So I'm leaning towards Stealth Rock of my own. I'm also leaning towards getting rid of the Stealth Rocks. I think Stealth Rock of my own is important because they're probably going to go into Goldengo right now to block a Rapid Spin. So there we go. We've got some Rocky Helmet chip on the Cinderace as well, which is going to be really useful for later on. Cinderace being weakened is perfect for us. Absolutely perfect. So are they going to go Goldengo here? That's the real question. In comes the Garchomp once again. So they're probably thinking, right, Rapid Spin, get the Rough Skin, Rocky Helmet damage and all that stuff. Expecting a Rapid Spin here, but now it's just the Garchomp coming in. So the Garchomp's probably going to try and set up some spikes right now, which is fair enough. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'm wondering what to do with Great Tusk here. Do we go for a Rapid Spin, get this chip damage that we don't want now on the Great Tusk? We need Great Tusk to stop the Cinderace. So what I might do instead, I might go into Rillaboom, get the Grassy Terrain up, because it'll weaken the power of the Earthquake coming our way, potentially. Or I go into our Ninetales. I'm leaning towards Ninetales, but I'm also leaning towards Zoroark. I feel like they go for Spikes here. I think maybe play it safe and go for a Rapid Spin. That's what I'm leaning towards now. So they do go for a Spikes, which is fine. We're going to clear them right away with a Rapid Spin right now, which they can't block with Garchomp. It is unfortunate that we're going to take some probably Rocky Helmet and the Rough Skin damage. There's the Rough Skin. Is the Rocky Helmet as well? Yeah, Rocky Helmet as well. So Great Tusk takes some unnecessary damage, but it did get rid of the hazards, which is kind of important. So now what we can do is, now that we know for a fact this Garchomp's probably going to go for a Spikes again, or a Dragon Tail, we just go straight back into Ninetales. That's what I'm going to do. So we'll go straight back into Ninetales. We'll threaten this Garchomp out with another Freeze Dry. There we go. Vimto comes in. Looking nice and shiny. Gotta love it. I like shiny Ninetales Alolan. It's really cool. Shiny regular Ninetales is cool as well. So they go for the Stealth Rock on the Switch. Fair enough. They probably expected the switch of the Great Tusk because I can't sit there and rapid spin this thing for ages. It's not doing any damage and it's just, you know, it's meh. So let me just check to see if we've got our Aurora still. We do. One more turn. So what we need to do now is we need to go straight for a Freeze Dry. Try and take out this Garchomp. They do withdraw the Garchomp. Are they going to go Skeledirge? Probably Skeledirge, right? Yeah, Skeledirge comes in, which is fair enough. Nice and powerful. Haven't seen Skeledirge in ages. Haven't seen it in ages. So let's see if we get Freeze again. No Freeze, but the Aurora Veil does wear off this turn. So I'm going to go straight for an Aurora Veil once again. I think that's going to be really important, keeping that up. And then what we can do is we can go into my Cargo. And looking at their team, I want them to Terra first. I want them to Terra something first. That's what I really want. Terra something. That's what I really want from you, is Terra something. So what we're going to do now is we can go straight into my Cargo if we want to. We've got the Aurora Veil up and all that stuff. So that could be useful. They haven't got the Great Tusken yet, but we do have the Terra Blast Grass if we need it. I don't think it's time. I really don't think it's time for my Cargo to shine just yet. But I'm struggling to think of a switch in. So I'm leaning towards the Great Tusk to get the Rapid Spin off, but Skeledirge and Goldengo both being Ghost types isn't making that a very easy decision. So I am going to go my Cargo now. We have the Heavy Duty Boots, so we don't worry about the Stealth Rock too much. And we 4 times resist the Torch Song, so we should be in a pretty good position, really, with my Cargo. So there's the Torch Song once again. It's going to bounce off us like it's nothing. And then we probably see, if I had to guess, we probably see, because Shell Smash, the thing is they're unaware. So there's no point in Shell Smashing. So I may as well just go straight for a Power Gem, see if they Terra. But we actually outspeed, which is interesting. And we get a Power Gem off, which is nice. They go for a Hex, and that's going to sting a bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So the snow does stop, but the Aurora Veil stays intact. We get to go for a Power Gem right now. And hopefully, we can go from there. So they do withdraw the Skeledirge. What are they going to go into, though? Are they going into the Goldengo right now? U-Pack, that's the Garchomp. So Garchomp is one of the Pokemon that stands in the way of my Cargo when it comes to sweeping. Terra Grass will probably sting it a bit, but it definitely won't be KOing it. So we'll go for a Power Gem, get some chip damage off. There we go. And then we'll go straight back into Ninetales, because Ninetales walls the ever-loving crap out of this particular Garchomp set. Stealth Rock and Spikes, probably with Dragon Tail and Earthquake, I would guess. And with the Rocky Helmet, definitely walling that with the Ninetales, that's for sure. So we'll get the snow up, give ourselves some extra, what do you call it, defenses in our attack. They go for a Dragon Tail, which doesn't affect our Fairy type Ninetales, which is great. And now I get to go straight for another Freeze Dry. And the reason I'm going Freeze Dry over Moonblast is A, it's 4 times super effective against the Garchomp, we know that. I don't know, it's the freeze chance, I guess. So we'll go into the Freeze Dry. They probably bring the Skeledirge back in. So they actually stay in, and they let the Garchomp go down. And this could be a game changer for us, because now that this thing's down and out for the count, there isn't a lot more that can stop our Mag Cargo if we get it going, you know? We might need to get rid of the Weavile. That might be a problem. In comes Goldengo, so this thing walls me to the end of the Earths. I can't Encore it either. But Stealth Rocks are going to dig in, which is always nice. They have got an Air Balloon, though. They have got an Air Balloon, so how long is my Revival? Another 2 turns. Definitely want to keep Ninetales around. What's my switch in, though? That's the real question. I'd say probably Great Tusk could still be... This has got 2 Ghost types. We ain't rapid spinning nothing. Let's just sack off Great Tusk. It's a bit of a weird play. But I don't think Great Tusk is that useful to us anymore. It can't rapid spin while a Skeledirge and a Goldengo's on the other side of the field. So we'll just go into it to sack off. They probably go for a Make It Rain, right? Nasty plot. That's terrifying. That's even scarier than what I thought it would be. So this is good, though, because we're going to kill off some turns until we can get Ninetales in and go for another Aurora Veil. So we'll go for an EQ here. Yeah, we'll go for it. Oh, no, I made a boo-boo. I mean, they're taking us out of a Shadow Ball anyway. But I went for the EQ despite them having a Air Balloon. So if they didn't KO us there, it would have been a bit of a blunder. But it's fine. The team's Aurora Veil is going to wear off. But I don't want to go into Ninetales just yet. I want to go into something like Zoroark, who can disguise as Vikavolt, which is great. Stealth Rocks are going to reveal that we aren't a Bug type, though. But Shadow Ball / Hyper Voice does a lot of damage to their entire team, to be honest with you. So I am going to go for the Shadow Ball option. I think that's probably for the best. There we go. Shadow Ball comes through. We are choice specs. That Goldengo should not be taking this. Nope, Goldengo does not take that 1 sec. And the air balloon's going to pop. Not that it matters. Down goes the Goldengo. So there we go. We're off to a good start. A good start. So the snow stops now. And that's what I was worried about. I didn't want the snow to... I couldn't remember how many snow turns we had left. So I was like, do I switch my Ninetales in now to get the Zoroark up or not? So anyway, Weavile comes in. This thing outspeeds and KOs us every single day of the week. If only we had Great Tusk, right? So I think my best play is probably Ninetales, but I don't want to do that because Ninetales kind of slaps, you know? Do I let something go down? I mean, we could go Vikavolt. Vikavolt's probably a pretty good switch. So we'll go Vikavolt. Vikavolt's not doing too much this game. They have 2 fire types, a Great Tusk that's immune to electric, and a Weavile, which is faster. So I think Vikavolt can probably go down here. I'm not too bothered about that. As they do Tera, so it's good to know they can't surprise Tera if we get Magcargo set up later. So let's see what this Weavile does. Tera Dark. There we go. And it's going to slap me in the face with a knockoff. I just know it. I just know it. Watch it happen. There's the knockoff. It's going to knock off our Focus Sash. And it's going to sting a lot. It might even KO. It doesn't quite catch the KO, which is crazy. As we're able to just go for a Bug Buzz now. Let's go for a Bug Buzz. We don't outspeed, that's for sure. They go for another knockoff. That's obviously going to KO us. Tera Dark Weavile is a bit of a threat. But it is what it is at the end of the day. I believe we can still handle this. Somehow. So I'm leaning towards Rillaboom right now. I think Rillaboom is a good shout. To be honest with you, I think Rillaboom is a very good shout. So we'll go Rillaboom. Now, obviously... Stones are going to dig in. They're going to try and fire off a... They could be Choice Banded for a start. We haven't seen an item. It could be Choice Banded or they could be Focus Sash. One of the two. I would stay in and go for Drain Punch, but if they aren't banded and they go for an Icicle Crash, we're kind of boned. So I'm going to go for a Grassy Glide real quick. And what we'll have to do is we'll have to somehow utilize Tera to get Ninetales to get another layer of screens up. But this Weavile needs to go. Grassy Glide comes through. Takes out the Weavile cleanly as down it goes. So Weavile being down is great for us. Absolutely fantastic for us. Because all we need now is the Skeledirge to come in to wall us. We sack something off. And then we go into Ninetales, set up the Aurora Veil, bring in Magcargo, go for the Shell Smash and go from there. There's the Skeledirge just as we expected. Because they can't bring Cinderace in because it goes down to a Grassy Glide. Now I'm leaning towards what to do here. So... I am leaning towards something. I think Zoroark's probably the best Pokemon we've got. I say we just sack off Cadbury's. Let's go for a Grassy Glide and get some chip damage off on the Skeledirge. Best case scenario, they slack off. No, not slack off, Torch Song. Worst case scenario, they slack off, which they have done. So that's unfortunate. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Now they probably go for Torch Song to get the KO. Which is fair enough if they go for a Torch Song to get the KO. That's fair enough by me. We just go for a Grassy Glide for some chip damage. There we go. As they go for a Will-O-Wisp. So, we're not making much progress here. I really want to get Magcargo in, though. Definitely want to get Magcargo in. Rillaboom is still useful here because it's still going to do a lot of damage, even with Burn to the Great Tusk and the likes of that. So, let's see how we can play this around. So, I think my best play... If we assume they're going to go for a Torch Song this turn, we go into Mysterio over here, the Zoroark. I think Zoroark's not even going to be disguised as anything right now. No, it isn't. Mysterio is going to come in, the Zoroark. Looking good. I love Hisuian Zoroark. It looks so cool. As they go for another Slack Off. There we go. So Slack Off is coming through. The thing is, they don't have a single switch into Hisuian Zoroark's Shadow Ball right now. This might be a Zoroark video, to be honest with you. Let's go for the Shadow Ball real quick and just take out the Skeledirge. Hisuian Zoroark does not need a disguise to pull off magic tricks. It's a very powerful Pokemon in its own right. Shadow Ball comes through. It's choice specs. It should definitely KO this Skeledirge, as it nearly does, but doesn't quite hit the mark. They go for a Torch Song. We should be able to live one of these. There we go. Living one. That's all we need. That's all we need. So we're going to get some health recovery from the grassy terrain as well, which is great. They do too, but it's not going to matter because this Shadow Ball is definitely taking out this Skeledirge. And even if it doesn't for whatever reason, we're golden. We are golden this game. So Shadow Ball comes through, takes out the Skeledirge, and it's a shame Magcargo couldn't put more work in. We'll get it one day. We'll get a Magcargo sweep at some point. I'm not going to rest until I get a Magcargo sweep with this team. That's for sure. So in comes Cinderace. This thing could have Sucker Punch. It could also be dead right now to Stealth Rocks, but it's not. It's Heavy Duty Boots. So I want to say they're going to go for a Sucker Punch. Let's go for the Shadow Ball. Let's just go for it. So they go for a Pyro Ball. They do outspeed. Never mind. I think Cinderace is like a speed tie with Zoroark, so it was one or the other. But Zoroark put in the work today, that's for sure. Zoroark has no switch-ins. That's the title. So we got a couple of options. We could go into Magcargo, Shell Smash, and go from there. Or we can go Ninetales, try and get up the Aurora Veil. Or I think for now we go Rillaboom. Because we can still take this thing out with a Grassy Glide. That's for sure. You know, despite the burn, we should still take this thing out of a Grassy Glide. So let's see Rillaboom put in some action right now. It's the Galarian starters against each other for a change. So we go for a Grassy Glide. Takes out the Cinderace. There we go. So there was no need to worry about it. Cinderace goes down no matter what there. They could have gone for a Sucker Punch, but I don't think they had Sucker Punch. I think they were probably Pyro Ball, maybe Court Change, High Jump Kick, and U-Turn, I would say. In comes the Great Tusk. So this thing's a problem. So this thing is going to go for an Ice Spinner. It's going to get rid of my Grassy Terrain, all that stuff. So let's go for a Grassy Glide real quick, and hopefully they're not Bulk Up. If they're Bulk Up, it's not too big of a deal, but let's see how this plays out. So they're going to go for a Grassy Glide. They go for a Rapid Spin to get the speed boost. We still have Terror on Magcargo, though, which could still win us the game. So, are they Bulk Up? That's the real question. Are they Bulk Up? I don't know whether they're Bulk Up or not. I really don't. So, Rillaboom is looking good. I think Magcargo has to save the day here, though. So, I'm going to sack off Vimto. Because they've got Rapid Spin up now, so they outspeed alone on Ninetales regardless. So Ninetales isn't doing too much for us here. We can reset the Grassy Terrain if they Ice Spinner here as well by switching Rillaboom back in and getting another hit in. But I want to go Ninetales first and sack it off because obviously Stealth Rocks and all that. We get the Snow up, which is going to be helpful. And they go for a knockoff, which is going to definitely take us out. So that's fine. Critical hit, not that it matters. Down goes Vimto. Down goes Vimto. And because we've seen Rapid Spin and Knockoff, we can assume they don't have close combat. Because they normally have Rapid Ice Spinner or Stealth Rocks. But the Garchomp has Stealth Rocks, so they might not have Stealth Rocks on the Great Tusk. Depends how the team was built. Let's go Magcargo and save the day with Gary. Let's save the day with Gary the Snail. There we go. We're going to Terra to be resistant to the Earthquake, and we're going to go straight for a Terra Blast in Grassy Terrain, which should take it out. So let's go Terra Grass real quick. If they predict this and go for an Ice Spinner, you know what? I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad. If Great Tusk wins this game for them, I wouldn't even be mad. So let's see how this plays out for us. So Magcargo is in. It's Terra Grassed. It's got a nice flower on its shell. They go for the EQ, which isn't going to take us out, I don't think. It's not doing anything. Actually activates our weak armor, boosting our speed to sky-high levels. Now, they're still really low. Terra Blast comes through from the Magcargo, and that's going to finish off the game. So, you know what? Magcargo did something. It did something. It took out the Great Tusk. If it weren't for Magcargo, we would have lost that. But GG anyway, Zav. That was a pretty fun game. I enjoyed that one. But anyway, if you want to try the team out, use the code at the top right corner of the screen. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, of course, leave a like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. And with that being said, I'll see you all in a bit.